Hey guys, Alan here. Today I got some cat diddlies, cat doodlies, swamp sticks, cattails. Cattails, a lot of wild food authors talk about them and people call them stuff like the grocery store of the woods or grocery store of the pond. I don't really agree with that, but I do think that they're an interesting foodstuff. Personally, I think milkweed should be called the grocery store of the woods, but that's kind of a different topic. One thing that people don't talk about a lot is exactly how to take something from the pond and put it on the plate. They're kind of misleading. They have a pretty short window, relatively speaking, to get them when they're really good. And what you eat is actually a really small portion of the whole plant. And at first I would pick these and I would eat some, and I just thought they were totally terrible. And I was just getting them a little bit too late. So I saw a couple today and I thought I would shoot you a little video on them and to show you, I don't specialize in cattails, I don't cook them a ton, but I've worked with them enough where I can kind of break down some things that I've found helpful. So for me, as a chef, when I look at this, obviously I've cut the top off of the cattail, and this is the first week in June, and I probably could have got these last week and gotten a little bit of a better yield. But when I look at this, and I think this is pretty helpful, I think of a leek. Okay, so a leek has this green part on the top, white part on the bottom, and just like a leek, a cattail is going to be more tender in the white part than it is in the green part. Unlike a leek, you're going to have to go through a lot more layers to be able to get to the part that you're going to want to eat. So what I do is, you can even just use your fingernail, I break this guy open, and this part is going to be pretty styrofoamy and pretty tough. But this part, this might even be nice. I'm going to take down just another layer. If it feels styrofoamy, it's generally going to be tough. And these are kind of tricky because down here might be tender when you get through a layer, but then it might be tough up here, but the inside core of the top might still be tender. So you could end up having to make a little ring around it and taking the top off to really get to the heart of your cat diddley. So what I might do here is just break it into a nice manageable piece. And when I'm using the knife here, a big tell for me is how it feels when it's going through the cattail. And that's important with the top, because the top is going to be tougher. So I'm going to take off another layer. And these are kind of misleading and they can be kind of tricky. So this is the top. I'm going to cut. See, I get a little resistance. I can feel it. So I know that that other layer, I'm going to take another layer off, because that's still going to be tough and styrofoamy. But once I get into the inside part here, again, it's going to kind of look like a leek. See, it looks like a leek. You see that? All the little layers in there? Now we're getting somewhere. And I'll cut again with my knife. And now I'll try a little bit. That is not bad. I'll try it from the other end. That is really good. Okay? So this is how it was. This is, it's edible. It's fine. No one's gonna mind that. But getting down into here, this is really good. This is really nice and soft. And this, I'll try a little bit. Yeah, it would be servable, but I'm going to take off just one more layer. Yeah, it's kind of styrofoamy stuff. But you see, I got to be careful now, because getting into this tender part, it's easy to accidentally remove some of the stuff that's good to eat. So now this whole thing, this is what you're going to cook and eat right here. This whole thing, you could just munch it and it's going to be soft and tender and a little crisp, a little bit of salt and some olive oil and some lemon, and this would be just excellent. Or grilled over coals. Probably my favorite thing to do is to cut them into little sections just like this and sweat them with a little bit of onion or garlic or some ramps and a good amount of oil and just a splash of vinegar, and it makes kind of like a little cattail relish. And for a fun dish, I might serve it with duck as a kind of pond on pond combo. But anyway, I'll do another one for you here because they can be kind of different. This one feels a little bit more on the styrofoamy side. Let's see if it'll give me some trouble. You can see I can just use my hands to open that guy up. I can just tell this outer part is going to be tough. So I'm just going to take it off straight away. And this part is going to be tough. And I'm just going to go for that leek looking center. This guy was really easy. Let's try the top. Okay, I get a little resistance. Not terrible, but I'm going to take it down to there, just to be safe. This whole thing, that is all food. That is that's a nice yield as far as what I've cooked with. Okay, one more. They're kind of fun. Breaking it open, take off the styrofoamy part. And see there's a little bit left on this, on the bottom. Oh, the knife goes through nice and smooth. And that is just great. Super tender. See the top. A little bit more resistance. A little bit. But it's not terrible. I'm still going to cut a little bit more off though. So there you go. Cat diddley and the heart.